what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I knew the day would come. I knew it would. I knew. Hi, how are you? I knew this day would come, or yesterday. But I don't know about tomorrow. Why do I always open up in such a confused fashion? But so yesterday I had 2 phone calls. Well, I had more than 2, but I had 2. And my favorite part of both phone calls was hearing about someone's grandkids. How many grandchildren you have? How many grandchildren you have? That was my favorite part of both phone calls. And there's great people. There's absolutely some wonderful people in the world. But common decency between one another, just some days it's like, wow, what happened? What happened? So I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on Voice of RuralAmerica.com, Voice of RuralAmerica.com. Good morning, Diane. Trying to get my bearings straight. It is Thursday, right? May 15th, 2025. Now, I do not want these pictures right now, Diane, but we're going to put 17 and 18 up momentarily, just so you know. So Trump, the president of the United States, and I look every morning at 3:30 a.m. as I start the day, and I venture into the office here and start watching the deep state, corporate corrupt media, and what spin they have of the day. Just briefly, if you're new to the show, I start around the world. I go to about 8 or 9 websites around the world. I travel to about 40 websites every morning, and I watch the deep state corporate corrupt media at 4 a.m. because the Mockingbird media / CIA Mockingbird media, the narrative for the day, it drops at 4 a.m. That is the drop, and I'm serious, that is the drop for their narrative of the day that they want you to buy into. And most Americans are too busy with their lives. They did that. They created a world where Mom, dad, the children are so overwhelmed on a daily basis that you can't pay attention to the deep state corporate corrupt media and the narrative and pick up where they're sending you. Now it's better. It's better. People are tuning into much different places, but still there's a large group of people in this country that they're getting those sound bites of, someone called me the other day and they said that their customers were asking, and this is a couple weeks ago, what do you think of the tariffs? I mean, do you think we'll have shortages? And so they created that stress level. Remember that just a couple weeks ago. But anyhow, that's what I do every day. Now, we have a lot to go over. There's 4 and 5 different sides to about every subject right now. President Trump is in the Arab states. He went to Saudi Arabia. He did not ask, why did you chop up Khashoggi? I'm serious. So there's that group that's all upset. There's the group that is upset, number 30, Mark Levin. Mark Levin is upset that President Trump is even talking. Saudi Arabia played a significant role on the 9/11 slaughter of our people. I didn't hear their crown prince even apologize once yesterday for what they did to us. And I know the 9/11 families are reeling from this. And Qatar protected the leader of the 9/11 attack from the FBI before he was able to launch his war on America that killed our people. So as for Iran, if they get a nuclear weapon, that's on our generation, and our country will suffer the horrible consequences. These are terrorists. They don't think like us, and they don't love life like us. All right. So that's Mark Levin, and he's not happy with the president. He's not happy that the president wants to drop the sanctions on Syria, a one-time terrorist, or maybe the president of the new government in Syria is still a terrorist. Saudi Arabia, $600 billion investment agreement. Qatar, take that down. We have a major military base in Qatar. And that's where we stage our the military base in Qatar, where Trump was this morning, is where we stage our attacks, where Iraq and the Gulf Wars and so forth. That's where we're set up there. I think we just signed a new 10-year deal in Qatar to keep that military base, one of the largest we have in the world, right there. So Trump is trying to make a deal with Iran. Netanyahu is not involved. Israel's not involved. There are people coming at this from multiple directions. And we will talk about that during the show, because I'd like to hear from you. I mean, we have people upset over the airplane. All right. Here is President Trump this morning concerning Iran. Video 1.
I think we're getting close to maybe doing a deal without having to do this. There's 2 steps. There's a very, very nice step, and there's a violent step. The violence like people haven't seen before. And I hope we're not going to have to do this. I don't want to do the second step. Some people do. Many people do. I don't want to do that step. So we'll see what happens. But we're in very serious negotiations with Iran for long-term peace.
He has been very clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very clear. Very clear that there is an option. If Iran does not want to go this direction, that he will take the direction he doesn't want to. It's going to be basically total annihilation of Iran. Now, what Iran knows, and we'll come back to this, but what Iran knows is that Benjamin Netanyahu came to America to encourage us to go now. Now, we need to go now more than ever before. The time is now to attack. And Trump had several people around him in his ear, okay? And there were several people around Trump in his ear saying, yes, it's time, we should go. There was a lot of encouragement for Trump to move forward with an attack with Benjamin Netanyahu. And Trump said no. He did not. Give me number 50. He didn't go for it. He said, no, I'm not going to. So what Iran knows this morning, and I never come on the show and claim my expertise in foreign affairs, but I do claim my common sense and intelligence not to fall for the deep state, corrupt media narrative, and to know that our CIA has done a lot of things around the world that has, when we talk about sponsored terrorism, what's it called when America does it? I know that. When we talk about Putin as a killer, what's it called? What do we officially call it when America is involved with something like that? Just saying. So what Iran knows this morning is that this guy was highly encouraged to do it, and he didn't. And to me, that has probably gone a long way with Iran. This guy was encouraged from inside the United States. This guy was encouraged, our president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, was encouraged from Israel, inside the United States. The warmongers wanted this to happen. Iran knows that this guy alone pulled it back. So when he says, look, he's sending a very strong message to Iran. Look, you and I both know, the world knows I pulled this back. The world knows that several wanted this to happen, ready to go. So you come to the table, you make the deal we want to make that deal. Find peace in the Middle East here, or I will go with the deal, I will go with what was behind curtain number one if you push me in that direction. So Iran knows that. So I think they're at the table. And again, you and I and MSNBC and David Ignatius over at MSNBC and Joe Scarborough and Jonathan Lemire and CNN and Jake Tapper and one right after another, they're not aware of truly what's happening in these negotiations in the Middle East, no more than you and I. So that's the way I see that. But look, let's start here. We have a base over there. Trump has made a major deal with Qatar to purchase what was it, like 168 billion in planes? We'll get to that in a minute. So when you are traveling around the world and you have military bases, It's a very exciting day. Give me number 31. It's a very exciting day when the commander-in-chief comes to your base. Now, these enlistment is up. It's up. All right. We have suffered loss with enlistment in the Biden administration, a devastating loss in enlistment. It's up. Morale is up. These men and women are excited to wear the uniform of the United States of America. Now, I don't want to imply that men and women in military 2 years ago were not proud to wear their uniform. I always caution with that. But today is different. Commander-in-chief is coming. Biden couldn't do these things. Biden couldn't even have a cabinet meeting. I mean, there is a headline that says, all right, give me number 29. Now, this guy is 78 years old. I don't know how he does it. He's 78 years old. The new book, Biden's cabinet members worried about his capacity in a crisis. The story, let's see. In the last year of Joe Biden's presidency, some members of his cabinet lacked confidence that the president could be relied on to respond to a crisis in the middle of the night. Well, you and I know that, but the people putting out the book, CNN, Jake Tapper, and Axios, and MSNBC, and every one of them, they all knew the crisis in the Oval Office that made its way to America's Main Street. They all knew that. But yet they covered it up and they lied. So go back to the number 31. Trump is having a monthly cabinet meeting in front of the American people at all times. And here he is in Qatar, right here, Doha, Qatar, this morning. And give me number 32. Now, this is the middle of the day over there, Trump meeting. This was like at 5 a.m. this morning, 5:39 a.m. this morning. Trump's meeting with U.S. President at the base in Qatar. Now, the men and women are excited to see their commander-in-chief. They are excited. Here comes the commander-in-chief, number 33. There's nothing wrong with proud to be an American. So I'm watching this morning live. They're set up. They're waiting for Trump. And I look. I'm like, who's in the crowd? Watch this right here, video 2. Who do you recognize in the crowd?
25 years, but this is just about 6 months or so on from the ouster of Bashar al-Assad. So Syria is very much at a crossroads, the beginning of a turning point. But President Trump agreeing to have that meeting with President al-Shara, saying he views him as a strong leader, but his past obviously is very key. Only a few months ago, he effectively had a bounty on his head by the U.S. as an ISIS fighter, but the president clearly willing to overlook that for the prospect of development and peace in Syria. And again, that is something controversial as well.
I'm looking at 5:05 in the morning. It's 5:05 in the morning. I'm looking at this monitor. I'm reading. Wow, I've got a lot over here. And I'm looking, I'm like, that's Theo. Theo Vaughn. Theo's over there. He is with the men and women. I mean, they are pumped up. I mean, and it's not it's moments like this where you look and CNN and MSNBC and ABC and every one of them, they absolutely hate you and I. They hate us. They hate this country. They hate Donald Trump. Really, you see it. And I'm looking and there's Theo Vaughn and I'm like, no, not Theo. So give me video 3.
The other thing that viewers are seeing, and maybe you are if you have a little return monitor in front of you, is the fact that we are waiting for Trump to speak with the troops here at the airbase in Qatar. One of the surprise guests that they've seen there, apparently, is Theo Vaughn, the conservative podcaster who has been sort of an outside Trump ally in that media environment. What does it tell you that this is the special guest ahead of the president himself speaking there?
Well, again, back to the theme of playing by his own rules. He's staging these what appear to be campaign-style events out here in Saudi Arabia. Not your sort of traditional presidential appearance in a foreign country. It was played onto stage in Saudi Arabia by Lee Greenwood, song that he plays at his rallies. I think Lee Greenwood was also there at the Qatari military base. So he's really sort of amping up the theater and pageantry that he's so fond of.
Would you also describe that as ramping up patriotism? Would you also describe that ramping up God bless America? Lee Greenwood, I'm proud to be an American. These men and women, they love when the commander-in-chief visits, especially Donald J. Trump. They love that. I mean, I have to tell you, these young people, they're pumped up. Donald J. Trump is there. And the hate they have. Well, he played Lee Greenwood, proud to be an American. And then the conservative podcaster. I have to tell you, I don't listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast. I don't, but I listen to short clips of things he talks about, and you're like, it's like Hank Hill says about Bobby, this boy ain't right. That boy just ain't right. But these people love him. The young people love Theo Vaughn. Anyhow, so President Trump, and I'm going to get past this. I'm going to get past this. So President Trump comes on stage. I watch it. It's 5:05 a.m. He comes on stage. And he says to the men and women, he said, let's have some fun this morning or this afternoon. It's 12:35 p.m. Let's have some fun. Now, they're going to chop up this video all day long of his meeting with these young. Trump opens up and he says, you need to go look at it. He opens up and he says, let's have some fun. Let's go ahead and have some fun today. All right. And give me number 46. So they're losing it, calling this guy a conservative podcaster. Theo Vaughn is over there. These men and women love that guy. Listen to video 4.
I want to influence you to clap for a man who's a great influencer. In fact, my son Barron said, Dad, you got to do an interview with somebody I hadn't heard of. But my son knew very well. He knows everyone. He said, Dad, this is before the election. We won in a landslide, in case you hadn't known. But he said, Dad, you got to do an interview with a guy named Theo Vaughn. I said, who the hell is Theo Vaughn? He said, Dad, he's such a big guy. You got to do an interview. So he knew all the names. I didn't know the names. And where is Theo? He's around here someplace, I think. Theo, thank you very much. That's Barron. Barron. He said, you got to do with that. We had a good time, right? Had a good time. We had like 270 million people that listened. So you know what? I think Barron was right.
I wouldn't get shocked if Trump gets up there one day and says, what we did yesterday, how many did we have? Like 2.8 trillion. I mean, he just says stuff. They explode. People will say to me, does that bother you that he... No, it doesn't bother me at all, because I actually watch the other side just lose it. They explode, and he knows how to make them explode on a daily basis. But I have to just tell you, we have a lot to do today. There's serious things on the budget. We have serious stories, but it warms my heart because the men and women in uniform around the world, they love this guy. They love their commander-in-chief. These people love Theo Von, patriotism. And he says right from the beginning, let's have some fun. Now watch this. This is exploding today. And CNN couldn't handle it. They could not handle it. I'll show you. Now, if President Trump can say this, so can I. Give me video 5.
Like the national anthem and things. It's like... And it became unbelievable. And I was saying you could get Elvis or anybody else to do a song. There's nothing. That was my intro song right from the beginning. Because, as you know, we won 3 elections. Okay? And some people want us to do a 4th. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. You saw the new hat. The hottest hat is, it says, Trump 2028. We're driving the left crazy when you see that. We didn't need that hat, but it's been an amazing period of time.
Now he's having fun. And he told him right from the beginning, let's have fun today, right? Let's have fun. And those men and women, I mean, it made their day. I could not be happier for this base in Qatar today with their commander-in-chief. But CNN could not handle that. They couldn't handle that. Give me video 6.
Listening to the U.S. President Donald Trump there speaking to troops at the Al Udeid Air Base. It's the largest installation in the region, housing some 10,000 troops. Just a few takeaways from what we heard there from the president, falsely claiming that he won 3 elections. He won 2. But also saying some people want us to do a 4th. I don't know about that, despite recently telling Meet the Press that he was not considering running again.
They've lost their mind. I enjoy that. I don't know why at 5 a.m. I mean, I could be sleeping, take the day off. Why am I enjoying at 5 a.m. this morning? I enjoy so much. Yes, there's a lot out there. I need to hear from you. Where do you stand on this Middle Eastern trip? President Trump is now headed to the UAE. A lot's happening. Now, Zelensky is, so this is, I kind of think this is funny. Zelensky is over in Istanbul, Turkey. I read Istanbul's top paper every morning. I do. It's a good paper. Istanbul has a good paper in the morning. And I read it. So he is over there. Where is the little sawed off number 44? So he's over there in Istanbul, Turkey. And he's ready for talks with Russia. And we do not know, we are not aware. Give me number 36. So first of all, this guy said, I will only go to Turkey and meet face to face with Vladimir Putin. I'm a tough guy like Vladimir Putin. I want to meet him face to face. I don't have any nuclear weapons. I have no money. Someone's paying all my bills. I live in my mom's basement called America. All right. My mom feeds me called America. But yet I want to look this guy in the eye. This guy's like, I have the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. We won. So I don't know if Sergei Lavrov will show up, But at the current time, give me number, go ahead and give me number 25. I think it's 25. Go ahead and give me number 25. Right. Russia-Ukraine talks resume. A Russian delegation. And 23, Russian delegation arrives in Istanbul, Turkey. And go to number 24. So in the beginning, Zelensky said, I will only talk to Vladimir Putin. That's it. I will only talk to Vladimir Putin. Now, Putin will not be there. We don't know if Sergei Lavrov will, but Russia basically sent their janitor from the Kremlin. Hey, you with the mop, what are you doing tomorrow? Mopping the floor. The guy's got a suit, put the suit on, we're going to fly you over there. You sit at the table, don't say a word. Okay, I'll do it. The lowest level of the Putin's team is in Istanbul, Turkey. Now, there's some talk, it's what you hear, that they want you to believe that Putin is dead man walking, that he is ill and can't leave the country and will not leave the country. I don't know. But he sent a delegation, basically the janitor at the Kremlin. All right, so folks, we have a lot to cover this morning at 10 a.m. Now, I am of the understanding we're running late here. I was told last night that a story is going to break here in Georgia at 9 a.m. That's what I was told. I have to look at you and tell you I don't know the details. All right? I received a phone call. Story's going to break at 9 a.m. We want to let you know that because we know the Georgia Hour starts at 10, and that'll give you an hour to look over the information to bring it at 10 o'clock. So at this time, I'm not for sure at 10 o'clock, but there may be a story break at 9. Now, I won't wait till 10. If it breaks at 9 and I see something in the headlines, we'll let you know what to look forward to at 10. So right now, that's all up in the air. So the Georgia Hour is at 10 o'clock this morning. And we can't wait. Diane, we call it the Karens of the Georgia GOP, number 17. So we're not going to make you wait till 10 o'clock. Here are the Karens of the Georgia GOP. We have Sally Grubbs, Marcy McCarthy, Debbie Dooley, and now added there Nancy Babbitt, the Karens of the Georgia GOP. And what they are doing, they're at the trampoline zone right there, and they are looking for a safe space. Yes, they are. So they're not offended. They're easily offended. They're easily convinced then that something is bigot, racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and they're in search of a safe space. So we now have the Georgia GOP Karens there. And if you blink, you never know who's going to show up. What was that? Why, it's the attack dog. The attack dog showed up. The Georgia GOP Karens. We'll be back right after these brief messages.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Diane, I just sent you a video. I don't have it numbered. Would you load it, please? All right, folks, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on Voice of RuralAmerica.com. As we said earlier, I received a phone call saying a story concerning the Georgia GOP was going to drop at 9 a.m. I know. And the individual that called me and said the story is going to drop at 9 a.m. said, we know you go on the air with the Georgia Hour at 10, and we want you to have it available. So we're giving you heads up. So I don't know. I don't know the details. How about that? Wow. So we'll look together. We will look together at 9 a.m. We'll take the old look-see on what we have. All right. So we're following President Trump. He is now at the last point of his, give me number 22 first. This comes from Russia Today. Trump and Qatari, I can't pronounce all those Middle Eastern names, announce an historic $200 billion, 160 Boeing plane deal and strengthen ties. And so there is a $200 billion, 160 Boeing plane deal that was made. Now, he is finished up. We talked to you this morning. We told you that President Trump addressed the troops, 31, 32, 33. Just click them off there, Diane. Appreciate it. He's addressed the troops there in Qatar this morning. And we know traveling with the president is 46, a complete entourage. We did not realize that Theo Vaughn is over there traveling with the president. And we have a couple graphics here, 51, 52, and 53. Trump announces Boeing deal with Qatar worth billions. The next one, he met with business leaders in the area. And the next one, 53. Oh, that's the same one. I got that twice. Oh, sorry about that, Diane. Thank you. So now he is on the last stop, the UAE. Go ahead and roll that tape, if you don't mind. So Trump is in the UAE. So let me just say this before we move on past his travels at this time. How you and I, America, has been treated in the last 3 days. From Saudi Arabia, the palace, the prince, the business meeting, the investment, the royal arrival of President Trump to his departure, how he was treated in Qatar, like royalty. That's you and I. That's America. How America was treated in Qatar, and now the UAE. And I think if you look it up, someone said yesterday, if you look it up, you would see, like, in Biden's administration, Saudi Arabia's investment in our country was $3 or $4 billion, and Middle Eastern investment in this country was very low. So I'm for sure between Laura Loomer and between Mark Levin and all the networks out there, from all the criticism, it'll all be discussed in the coming days. But I do know Joe Biden could not take this trip. Joe Biden was never received this way, and Donald Trump's realigning the world. Now, how you feel about that, you got to stop and think. Tariffs, negotiations, peace, nuclear weapons. Donald Trump, in just over 100 days, has engaged the entire world on every level. Every level. Nothing is missing. But I will say this. Before, pay attention, okay? Before he went out here, he focused on America first. Don't forget that. The Biden administration, the deep state, America has always been last. Europe first. Brussels first. Right? Everything first, except you and I and the security and closing our border. So Donald Trump didn't even look to go out and do anything else until he secured our border. What, only 3? Was it 3? I don't know the actual number that attempted to cross last month. I mean, we're going from a time when there was almost like 250,000 trying to cross, 200 and some thousand. And they were actually not trying. They were crossing into this country. That created a crisis, an invasion that we have to deal with. But the very first thing Trump has done is dealt with our country, America first. So he's realigned the whole entire world. It's just like amazing to me what this guy is doing. And to some, it's very concerning. Now, I just want to, let's see, we'll go into this a little later, maybe the next hour. Let me give me 16. Don't forget about this one. I just want to bring up a couple things for us to keep an eye on. Here's 16. Don't forget. All right. May 21st. If you got a little pocket change for $100,000, you can eat dinner with JD Vance here in Atlanta for $250,000. You could be what's called $250,000, the host committee. So the RNC, JD Vance, dinner host committee in Atlanta, trying to scrape some money together for the next election cycle. I had this in the hopper yesterday. Give me number 8. John Fetterman. Now, it's not something that's very important, but let's keep this in mind, okay? The Democrats propped this guy up. And the Democrats handed America this guy when he couldn't put 2 sentences together, all right? And they stole an election in Pennsylvania. Democrats did. They stole an election in Pennsylvania. No matter what you think, good, bad, what the status would be today, but Dr. Oz should be the senator in Pennsylvania, all right? And Democrats propped this guy up. He had a stroke. He could not put 2 sentences together. And they got him across the finish line. And he was past tense, a Democrat. Just amazing story. what he went through. They did profiles of the guy, and now he went to visit Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He didn't vote against all of Trump's nominees. He met with them. Even though he voted no on some of Trump's nominees, he met with them. God forbid you meet with them, right? He met with all of them. And again, he had a meeting with Trump, and he said, look, that's what I got to do. I'm in Pennsylvania. So what we know for a fact is in the state of Pennsylvania, there's been a major effort to bring this guy over to the Republican Party. John, come on over. And I don't know if this is true. I'm not 100%. But now what they're doing is, and the reason I bring this up, I listened to most of, I'm not finished, we're going to make a recommendation, but Ed Martin, that was just removed for, what was he, the D.C. Federal District Attorney? He was a nominee, and they just removed his name and put Judge Janine Piero. Like, really? But you can hear in the interview how they attacked and smeared Ed Martin. They create, they destroy people on purpose. So this guy here, 2 more Fetterman aides leave embattled senator's office. 2 more aides left John Fetterman. Now, this is the 15th. This is 2 days ago. I had it in the hopper yesterday. We were a little busy, but I don't want to gloss over it. 2 more aides left John Fetterman's office in recent weeks, the latest in a stream of staff exits amid the Pennsylvania senator's shifting political persona and questions about his health. Now, keep that in mind, right? Amid the Pennsylvania's shifting political persona. Now, that's over here. And questions about his health. Huh. So, political persona shifted. They're out. These little liberal lefties, they are removing them on purpose. They're creating a crisis in the guy's office on purpose because Republicans are talking to him and he's having a conversation. So now the guy that couldn't get 2 sentences together, that they said he's amazing, is now deteriorating in the eyes of a Democrat. We must destroy him. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now, here's another one that we had yesterday that we did not put the time in. And I want you to follow this because this is very important. Tulsi Gabbard fires deep state heads, number 7. And I need you to go look at this. Get me some information. I'm studying it right now among a dozen things, but this has my eyes wide open of what's going on with Tulsi Gabbard. And after listening to the interview with Ed Martin, Tulsi Gabbard fires deep state heads of Security Council who oppose Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, fired 2 deep state head of National Intelligence Council on Tuesday. All right. Today's Thursday. I had it in the hopper. And you go to Istanbul, number 10. All right. No, I know you don't watch CNN and so forth. U.S. Intel chief fires senior National Intelligence Council officials. All right. Tulsi Gabbard removes Mike Collins and Maria Langen Rickoff, is that it? Rickoff? According to media reports, U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard fired the top officials at the National Intelligence Council, according to media reports Tuesday. Mike Collins, right, who was serving as the acting chair of the council as well as his deputy. Gabbard also moved the agency's office out of the office of the Director of National Intelligence to ensure she can block any politicization or intelligence, according to Fox News. Where'd she move it from? Was it in the CIA? Just saying. Where did she move it from? The director is working alongside President Donald Trump to end the weaponization and politicization of the intelligence community. So, where did she move the office? Who did she get rid of? I've got one more on this that I want to roll out before we give me number 27. Gabbard fires National Intelligence Council officials after Venezuelan report. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard fired the National Intelligence Council's top 2 officials over what Trump administration has called the politicization of intelligence. All right. The firing of acting NIC chair Mike Collins last week. Let me see what else I have here. Follow this. I'm looking at the clock, and it's 9:00, and I do want to be available to see if something drops at 9. So this is something I want you to look into and help me follow of what she's doing, because I'm hearing some of the bombshells inside that are going to start surfacing. I hear some things throughout all of these intelligence agencies are going to start surfacing as they're uncovering bombshells within. That's what we hear. It's being reported. A lot of stuff on X right now. But check that out. And here's one when we come back. Give me number, if you have not watched this interview, we're going to recommend it. We might play a little bit of this. Ed Martin was on his way to cleaning up Washington as the new U.S. attorney until Senate Republicans decided he was too sincere and killed his nomination. Number 20. That is an interview. You want to watch the entire interview. He's going to talk about Dan Bongino, some things going on inside that's about to explode or come to the surface. We'll leave it at that. So we're going to take a break. When we come back at 9:00, we're going to look a little bit at RFK Jr.'s testimony before Congress yesterday. Take a break.
Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in LJ. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting edge digital technology and state of the art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second to none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
So I told you at 9 o'clock something was going to break, and I've got to study it. I have to study it. What is going on with the Georgia Republican Party? I have a question for Josh McCoon that is very important to Georgia voters. From June 10th, 2023 through early 2025, a total of 140 refund transactions were identified amounting to $28,149 refunded. These refunds do not have matching contributions, or the refunded amount is larger than the initial contribution. All right, so I'm reading this directly to you right now. I have some charts, some spreadsheets, but I have to get a little deeper understanding of what I'm looking at, and we'll have that ready by 10. Okay, this seems a little interesting. I will tell you this in general. When it comes to political contributions, always go look at the political contribution refunds. Yes. That might be whitewashing. There could be running through the laundromat. Just always on political contributions, go look at political contribution refund. So we're going to dig deeper into that, and we'll put that together, lay it out at 10 o'clock for you to look at it. We have to have, and speaking of that, while we're talking about the finances, last night at the Georgia GOP, well, not Georgia, at Cherokee County. Give me number 54. Hi, Diane. Oh, by the way, I'm your host, BKP. Welcome to BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you for being here. And last night at the Cherokee County, Georgia GOP, they had a candidate question and answer. It was really good. The room asked some really good questions of these candidates. Viking Dude and MAGA Struck, the team at MAGA Struck and Viking Dude captured this last night. They go everywhere, and they post it unedited. I mean, that's what I like about it. Is there's no commentary, anything. They just post the entire production, and you can hear every candidate and decide for yourself. So we're going to talk about that at 10 o'clock. Take that down. Now, yesterday, we got to talk about the Senate race here in Georgia. But yesterday we had the RFK Jr. And I can't get into the big, beautiful bill right now. I can't get into the big, beautiful bill right now. And I want to. But yesterday, RFK Jr. was on the hot seat. And when you use words like corruption, now a lot of people are still finding their way of accepting, and we'll use that big word of accepting Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat, accepting that RFK Jr. is a Democrat, went independent, accepting some of the people that Trump has put into his cabinet, accepting that Casey means full onslaught attack from Laura Loomer and others. So Donald Trump has put quite a diverse balance in his administration. And RFK Jr., yes, there's his philosophy, his political philosophy on many things is unacceptable to me. But on HHS, now, all of a sudden, just like Sean Duffy. Now, this morning, no planes fell out of the sky. Another day. So you have the producers of these evil people. Give me video 14.
These people are evil people.
They're evil. I mean, Trump, India. Where is that at? I think I had something this morning. Give me number 37. Is it 37? Right? Bloomberg. Trump says India's offered to remove all tariffs on U.S. goods. So Trump come into office, and first of all, he pardoned all those cop beaters and killers and just those evil people from January 6th. They went nuts over that. They've gone nuts over the tariffs, Canada, Gulf of America. They've gone nuts over due process. They wanted the Maryland man back. Remember the Maryland man? They wanted the MS-13 guy back. They have lost it over everything. Then lo and behold, well, we had the chicken crisis. Remember that, the great chicken crisis of the early 2025, where eggs were up to $8 a dozen, and that has settled down a little bit. We're hatching a couple more chicks. They're laying a couple more eggs, so maybe that's balancing out. They didn't win that argument. Again, the tariffs, the shelves are going to be empty, totally empty. I mean, it's going to be COVID type crisis time, shelves empty. What are we going to do? Manufacturers are coming to the White House begging Trump to stop. Chances of recession have gone from 25% to 35% to 45% to 55%. Now it's 85%. Recession chances. Now it's dialing back. They've lost it. And then, right here is this. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to get to RFK Jr. All of a sudden, remember, all the planes are going to fall out of the sky, right? That was next. All the planes are going to fall out of the sky. And number 9, while they're telling you all the planes are going to fall out of the sky, they are. We lost the beeps, we lost the screeps, we lost the beeps, whatever. Remember that guy? All right, that could do that on the radar. Oh, radar's down. And we know what happened is someone jammed the radar. And if you pick that up, let me know, okay? They jammed the radar. Again, one more time. If you pick that up, please let me know. A little hidden gem. All right. So Democrats kick off 2028. This is Pete Buttigieg. Spent 4 years as transportation secretary, telling us, right, that we have racist roads in America, bridges, and we must stop this, and we must have men wearing dresses collecting fares to get on a bus. So anyhow, this guy is out there saying, I want to be president. This disaster embodied in one individual, a crisis in America. Pete Buttigieg wants to be president. All right. So anyhow, Sean Duffy, we have 50-year old. They have to buy some parts on eBay, copper wiring. And we know we need air traffic controllers. They spend $1 trillion. The point is, these sick SOBs, leave it there, right? Every day, like, could we just have a plane fall out of the sky? Near misses. Darn. What do we got this morning? A near miss? So remember the Black Hawk helicopter in D.C.? That's not good enough. That's not good enough. So anyhow, we know that it's disgusting how evil these people are. Now, we have to cut spending. Have to. We have no choice. We have to secure the tax cuts, cut spending, and RFK Jr. is on the Hill yesterday, and they attack him. The only thing they're playing this morning is vaccines. So without taking a lot of time to go through it, I've told you before, I'm not telling you what year it was, but it was close to 1970. That's all I'm saying, close. And we lined up at the Gymicafetorium. Do you know what a Gymicafetorium is? You probably don't, because nowadays there's billions of dollars, and I just jokingly say billions of dollars in SPLOST money, where you can build enormous college type gymnasiums and cafeteria areas that just look so beautiful, like major buffet line at the school, and auditoriums that the acoustics are amazing for your little junior to be able to belt out in 7 different keys some song. Did I do that? But back then we had one. It was called the Gymicafetorium. Back to that, Phil, right? So we lined up at the Gymicafetorium, and they said, they got this air gun right in your arm. All right, get him to school. Get him to school. There you go. Boom. Go to school. Polio, measles, what else? I don't know. Now, what is it? Diane, can you just do it off the top of your head? I don't care if you get it right or wrong. What's the number of vaccines a child has to have now? I mean, isn't it like double digits now that these newborns have to have?
I want to say it's like 72.
I don't know, but it's enormous, right? I mean, the vaccination schedule for these children, and they're sick. Not all of them. Now, relax. Not my child. My child's not sick. Okay, relax out there. But all they can pick up is the measles. That's it. And now, do you know who, Diane? This is the test. And you're gonna fail the test, and you can't Google it. If you Google it, well, I'll be upset. For 4 years, who was the Biden administration's HHS secretary? Do 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 do.
Assistant secretary?
No, I knew you were going to do that. I know it. I know it. I know it.
I know it.
I
don't know who he was.
Becerra.
Yeah.
Becerra. In California. And I think Becerra is an attorney, right? Can you look up Becerra, California HHS, and see if he was a doctor or anything like that? Could you just do that? Just look it up. I mean, throw the old Wikipedia up. I don't like Wikipedia. I'm not saying that. Becerra was HHS secretary. All right? Most people don't know that. They never did anything, and they moved towards, we know, Rachel/Richard Levine, assistant HHS secretary, because the Biden administration spent 4 years trying to transition your children and alter your children gender and neutralize gender in America. But the HHS secretary, you don't remember. You can't remember anything about vaccinations. You can't remember anything about being called up on the Hill and given testimony to Congress. You can't recall any of that because it didn't happen. Now, HHS, and did you get that? But Sarah, were you able to find him? All right, so she must still be looking for that. That's no problem.
I'm spelling his name, so.
What the hell? BECCRA. And if that's wrong, it'll show up. I think it's wrong. All right, anyhow. So moving right along, as she's looking for Becerra, I think it's C's in there. Robert Kennedy Jr. yesterday goes up there, and the headlines, they're attacking, and don't take medical advice from me. I'm not a doctor. All right, and that's their takeaway. So as we're looking for that, let's go with video 8. Let me show you a couple clips that they will not, video 8 show you this morning, video 8.
We're switching the trajectory so that we're going to really focus narrowly on chronic disease, ending the chronic disease epidemic, and then we're going to make sure that the science cannot be corrupted. That every scientific study is replicated, that the raw data for those studies is published, that the peer review for those studies is published. And we're going to focus on making sure that we get to younger scientists rather than the old boys network. And I could talk to you about scientific corruption all day long, about horror stories that we know have happened within NIH. One of those, probably the worst, is the amyloid plaque scandal. For 20 years, because of utter corruption and fraud, we were directing Alzheimer's research to one hypothesis, and any other hypothesis was shut down. We should have the cure for Alzheimer's today. We don't have it purely because of corruption at NIH.
Ms. Frankel.
We are going to have it quickly.
Ms.
Thank
Frankel.
you, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, so let me say this very controversial. This guy publicly states, sworn in, all right, they shut him down. They're not playing any of this morning. And it actually breaks my heart for Americans out there. Have you ever, this guy just said to me and you in America, corruption and fraud, chronic disease, scientific corruption, right? He said, you want to talk about scientific studies, corrupt studies? And this guy said it, all right? Corruption and fraud, I don't know about you, but he just looked at me and said, we should have a cure for Alzheimer's. Now, the reason I play that, could we have a cure for Alzheimer's? Really? Because I don't know that. And do you know of someone out there? It's big business, right? Once there's a disease, autism, big business. You have special teachers. Do not get me started. Big business. A lot of money flows. So you can't stop that pipeline. Autism. Alzheimer's. You ever been with someone that watched their family member deteriorate and die from it? Have you? I've heard stories that just it's horrific to watch your loved ones go through that, because it's a deteriorating disease. That you watch these amazing, strong, brilliant, sharp people in your life deteriorate until it's over. And then you hear someone like him and say, due to corruption and fraud. I don't know. So if you're able to find that, I would take it at any time. And I'm sorry to put that kind of pressure on you, D.
What do you about Becerra?
Yes.
So looks like he started out as a House of Representative, member of the California State Assembly in 1990. He stayed there for a little while. Vice chair of the Democrat caucus in 2009. Became the chair of the House Democratic Caucus 2013. And was the California Attorney General in 2017 until he became Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Let's say, so you didn't see a medical degree?
No, but I don't think Kennedy does either, just to be fair.
Right. So the HHS secretary was an attorney general. He didn't have a medical degree. And you don't see doctor in front of his name. The point is, yesterday, they kept putting pressure on Kennedy to say certain things. That's what they do for their political soundbite for their fundraising, because what they do is they put this out and say, I need your help to go after this no good guy in Trump's administration. Please send me $50. Donate today. That's what this is about. Kennedy tried to tell him, don't take medical advice from me. You're HHS secretary. That's where we're supposed to be getting. Now, I'm not a clinical physician. I'm not a doc. Don't take medical advice from me. I don't want to give medical advice to the Americans. And they freaked out, but they can't take this. Medicaid. Listen to this. Give me video 10.
So in these videos, there's a guy in the purple shirt in the back that's consistently shaking his head no on everything that Kennedy says.
Yeah, I want to. All right, give me Diane. Nothing like Diane's throwing a little extra. Give me video 10 for right now.
So do you disagree with the cuts that are being proposed for Medicaid right now?
Oh, the cuts to, this is I don't know if you understand this or whether you're just mouthing, the Democratic talking points. The cuts to Medicaid are for fraud, waste, and abuse. And I'll tell you what that means. It means that because of DOGE, we were able to determine, and it's about 8 million people who would be affected. Because of DOGE, we were able to determine that there are 1 million people who are claiming Medicaid from multiple states. That's illegal. It's theft. You're not allowed to do that. There are another 1 million people who are collecting both under Obamacare and
Mr. Secretary, that has nothing to do with the budget that's
These are
actually
the only
being
cuts that are
proposed
being
in the
made.
House.
These are the only cuts that are being made to Medicaid.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. There are another 1 million illegal aliens. We announced a law yesterday, a rule yesterday, we're not going to pay illegal aliens anymore. And guess what Gavin Newsom did this morning? He said we're going to take all the illegal aliens off the California Medicaid rolls because the feds aren't paying for them anymore. So the compassion ends.
Secretary, let me focus you on the actual numbers of the budget that's being proposed. Secretary, I regain my time. I think what you are saying is absolutely inaccurate in terms of the 13 million Americans that will lose access to health care. Let me tell you, the folks in my district are not actually getting Medicaid in another state. They can't travel to get it in another state. The clinics that are providing that life-saving care are the last resort for folks in our area.
Let me tell you the last category. Last category is adults who are able-bodied, who refuse to look for a job, to volunteer, to get a job, or to show that they are or to take a part-time job.
I agree with time. That is absolutely not true. The vast majority of folks in a community like mine who are on Medicaid are working. They want to work. People want to be able to make sure that
they're in no danger of losing their Medicaid.
That's just not true. We've seen time after time, including in Arkansas and Florida and other states, that when you put more red tape, yes, but we've seen this chapter before. When you put more red tape in front of people actually getting that life-saving care, you're going to prevent people from accessing health insurance and being able to go see a doctor.
Medicaid is for poor children. It's for women, for mothers, and it's for the disabled.
It is. And 13 million of those people are going to lose health insurance if this budget becomes law.
They're already losing their health insurance because of all the able-bodied people who are not looking for jobs on Medicaid.
Secretary, I'll just close by saying this. I hope that you remember the.
Well, I can see where RFK Jr. went wrong there. Don't you? I mean, how dare you call someone able-bodied? Who are you, RFK Jr., to determine able-bodied? Why, look at me. Look at this body. Do I look able? How dare you call me able-bodied? Why, I'm offended. I mean, that is just, I don't know how to approach that. So what you're telling me is there's able-bodied people out there. My God, you can't even discuss corruption in this country. You can't. You can't discuss corruption. You can't highlight theft. These people cover it up. It's disgusting. 1 million have been identified, drawing in multiple states. These are crime syndicates. They actually are. Medicaid, all right? 1 million have been identified, all right, as double dipping their chip. 1 million identified, just 1 million. There's many more illegals. In fact, it's so bad, Gavin Newsom in California said, if the federal government's not going to just give out the free Medicaid money, we're going to have to cut you off the rolls. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing all these liberal bleeding hearts say, Medicaid expansion, Medicaid expansion. We're knocking people off the rolls. They brought in the damn wheelchairs. No one is cutting Medicaid or Medicare. He's told you it's for the poor. It's for mothers that need help. It's for the disabled. It's not for the able-bodied. It's not for 13 million out there that are able to work, should be off of it, and they're freaking out. No one is cutting Medicare. No one is cutting Medicaid. If you lose it, you're in a multi-state corrupt syndicate. B, you're double dipping in the system. C, you're illegal and you should not be getting free health care in America. D, I'll be damned, you're able-bodied. I mean, you can't even discuss waste, fraud, corruption, abuse in this country. You can't even have the conversation. They go nuts. And the deep state corporate corrupt media, they just follow it. They just follow it one right after another. Give me number. You can't even, I mean, we in America do not want to turn, give me number 34. We do not want to turn our back on the poor. We do not want to turn our back on the disabled. RFK clashes with lawmakers over vaccines and HHS mass layoffs. What about the other part? Let's go with video 12. I don't know how long this is and how long I want to play it, but go with video 12.
Anybody thinks that we did gold standard medicine in this country from these institutions, look at our children. They're the sickest children in the world. Laura, you say that Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days.
I'll give you that credit.
All right, so let's work together and do something that we all believe in, which is have healthy kids in our country, for God's sake. We can all do that together. It's not, there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. There's just kids, and we should all be concerned with them.
So, are you telling us the kids don't have an R or a D in front of their name? What are you trying to say here, RFK Jr.? That our kids are not healthy? Are you trying to say that there's no Republican and no Democrat kids in America? These people, the deep state, corporate, corrupt media, they're evil. They're evil. I got food dye out. You've been working on it for 20 years. Oh, I'll give you credit for that. I'll give you credit for that. Now, I do not know. We got to get ready to go to break because we got to get ready for 10 o'clock, and I'm working on a couple stories for 10 o'clock, the George Hour. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. If usually there's a stunt here, but Donald Trump signed an executive order concerning prescription drug prices. Republicans are not picking it up and running with it. I just thought this is interesting that Ro Khanna from California has introduced to codify Trump's executive order. This is strange. I just want to put it out for that reason alone. Give me video 13.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to introduce as legislation President Trump's executive order for the most favored nation status on drug pricing. My legislation will codify President Trump's executive order, which basically says that Americans should not pay more for drugs than people in other countries and other parts of the world. Right now, we're paying 2 to 3 times more for our drugs than people in other industrialized nations. Now, this executive order, codified by the legislation, will allow our cabinet secretaries to put pressure on Big Pharma and make sure that they are not price gouging, and will allow for the importation of cheaper drugs. So you ask, why do we need the legislation? Because the reality is that Big Pharma will sue for the executive order like they did in the previous Trump administration. And in the previous administration, they managed to kill the executive order. The only way we can stand up to Big Pharma is to codify in legislation what the president wants to do in an executive order. So here's the deal. If I can cross the aisle and support President Trump's executive order in legislation, every Republican should be willing to cross the aisle and support my legislation. It's a pretty simple test. Are we going to stand in this body with the $16 billion that Big Pharma spent on lobbying, or are we going to stand with the American people? We will know that answer based on how many co-sponsors we get for my legislation that simply codifies Donald Trump's executive order.
Why did Ro Khanna do that? Why? Why did he do that? Why does he want to codify Donald Trump's executive order against Big Pharma? Very interesting. Takeaway, remember the words corruption, and fraud. Why we don't have a cure for Alzheimer's. And all they want to talk about was vaccines yesterday. Take a break.
Massive truck discounts are back at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500s. Up to $9,000 off Silverado 2500s. Don't wait for Memorial Day. Get them before they're gone. $12,500 off Silverado 1500s. $9,000 off Silverado 2500s at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting edge digital technology and state of the art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second to none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on Voice of RuralAmerica.com. It's been a great morning, has it not? I mean, hi, Diane. How are you? Thank you, Diane. I put a lot of pressure on you on the lookup. You know, do the lookup and then get me this picture and then move over here. And I appreciate you. I really do. So good morning. A lot of moving parts. I know I get a little out there sometimes. Well, I mean, maybe just sometimes. At 10 o'clock is the Georgia hour. We have what may be a bombshell story that I'm trying to review right now that we're going to work together on it. So we're going to bring it out. We're going to work together on this story that dropped at 9 a.m. concerning the Georgia GOP Inc. and some research that's been done by an individual. It never ends. Okay, so let me say this. Money, ready? Money buys access. Now, last night there was at the Cherokee County, Georgia, there was a candidate question and answer session. Always want to thank the Viking Dude of Cherokee and Magastruck, the technical team that always puts that out, that I'm able to come in at 4 a.m. like I have nothing better to do and watch that. So I want to go here just momentarily. I'm trying to look to make sure I don't miss something. All right. Now, we are disappointed in Georgia, and we'll put this up here. Governor Kemp, number 11, I don't know about your state, but Governor Kemp, we're disappointed in our lawmakers. And this right here is I know you're going to wonder what exactly the statement means, but this right here is causing me to rethink some things. I'm very disappointed in what happened. I'm tired of lobbyists running our state. I'm tired of lobbyists running our country in general. New Georgia law shields Roundup maker from some cancer-related lawsuits. Now, manufacturers of chemicals that make pesticides, fertilizers, and herbicides for crops will soon be shielded from Georgians who say the companies did not sufficiently warn consumers of health risk. All right. The Georgia legislature passed legislation that aimed to protect Bayer from the lawsuit where customers have claimed there were no warning that the popular weed killer Roundup could cause cancer. Now, they're going to tell you, give me number 12. The law is written broadly enough to provide legal protection for Georgia for any pesticide manufacturer that follows federal labeling requirements. Now, keep that in mind, all right? Bayer, the parent company of Roundup producer Monsanto, is facing billions of dollars in lawsuits from people who claim the weed killer gave them cancer. Critics of the law argue that it would make chemical companies unaccountable for the harm their products might inflict. So the legislation is to shield themselves from liability they acquired when they bought Monsanto in 2028. Bayer purchased Monsanto in 2018. And the lawsuits came with it, and they're trying to protect themselves from the Roundup cancer risk lawsuits. Now, give me number 13. Bayer, after acquiring Monsanto in 2018, faces numerous lawsuits alleging Roundup's active ingredients, glyphosate, caused cancer. Now, you can go and RFK, go and Google RFK Jr. and glyphosate, and go and Google how they develop glyphosate, and they modified it to where the chemical structure won't harm the plants. You got to go listen to the video to get a firm understanding. So Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, signed, okay? Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, signed this piece of legislation, and it is now law in Georgia. And what they will tell you, lawmakers will tell you, is they needed it to protect our farmers, okay? Now, here is number one. And you can see right on the box. Now, this is a state, is he a state senator? I'm pretty positive. His name's Sam Watson, Georgia State Senator Sam Watson, a farmer, right? And he's thumbs up with Roundup, the pesticide. And as you can see, Power Max Roundup, all right, selective broad, spectrum weed control and Roundup Ready and other listed glyphosate tolerant crops. You got to go look up glyphosate tolerant crops. Sorry, say that 3 times fast. Glyphosate tolerant crops. You got to go look that up. RFK Jr., watch the video of this product, this chemical. Now, when it says in the article, as long as the federal labeling that it could cause cancer is displayed, they're exempt from lawsuits. As long as they tell you up front. Who do they tell? The farmer. It's on that box. It's on those products. Not at your grocery store. When you walk in, there's not a sign in the produce department or any of the food departments that say the following products that you may purchase have been sprayed or could have been sprayed, right, with glyphosate Roundup, just to make you aware. It's not there. Show me where you walk in as a consumer. Now, they freak out. The Consumer Protection Agency, they freak out if they cut spending, if they cut their people. That agency is supposed to be there to protect consumers, right? That's what they tell you. It's necessary. Lawsuits, these big corporations are protected. The lobbyist won. Hey, look, if they pass this and they've got to tell you in the grocery store or anywhere you buy your produce or your food products that Roundup was used, okay. Just saying. So if your mom was out there spraying Roundup her whole life on her flower garden and stuff like that and keeping the bugs back and ended up with is it lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's? Is that what it's called? Lymphoma cancer? That's different, right? So I have nothing against farmers in America. Let's be clear. Nothing against a farmer in America. Nothing. But I will tell you this. The lobbyist won here, not the consumer, once again, in Georgia. So we'll dig a little deeper into that momentarily. Before we take our break, I want to make this recommendation. Give me first of all, number 19. Let me go with this. Couple very quickly. the U.S. has found Trojan horse communication devices in Chinese-made solar panel inverters. They are used to connect solar panels to electricity grids. The devices could be turned out remotely to destabilize energy grids, potentially leading to massive blackouts like the recent one in Spain. That's an interesting. And number 21, Maryland. Maryland loses AAA bond rating. Senate Republican leader says we're paying the price for failed leadership. They've lost their AAA bond rating. And number 20, Diane, I want you to try to find. This is. We're just going to play a very. I had it here a minute ago. Let me see if I have it, Diane, because I know. There it is. Can you give me video? I'm going to recommend watching this entire interview. It's video 7. I'm going to give you the timestamp. There's 2 of them I'm going to go to. Let's just go right here because we're only going to do like a minute and a half. 16 minutes and 14 seconds. Can you get the 16 minutes and 14 seconds on this video for me? And we'll do about a minute on that. Just whenever you can get to it there. She's got to work on it there, and I appreciate her so much for this.
And most of us move on, right? You move on to the next thing because the way the world is moving. And one of the things this effort to focus on weaponization is to get the truth out. So to your point, we still don't know the answer to that. We do not know how many agents. How can we not know? I mean, I'm going to get it out, or I'm going to die trying. Pipe bomber. As a prosecutor, I've got the pipe bomber case in my office. The FBI, Bongino said to the FBI, change all the agents, everybody look at it again. It's been going on for about 5 weeks. It's like Keystone Cops. You know, they didn't interview some of the people that you would have said, that might be a suspect. They hadn't interviewed him. I mean, so the question becomes, what's happening here? Is it incompetence? It feels worse than incompetence, right? And so that information...
It does. What do you think?
Well, I think it's worse than incompetence, and I think, but I think the only way forward is to not describe what I think of the motives, but to expose over and over again what's happened. If you expose what's happened and the truth gets out, then accountability is possible. If you don't expose what's happened, the accountability looks like targeting, right? So you got to do this one to get to this one, and the other side just does this.
I recommend all 1 hour and 20 minutes. I recommend 1 hour. Okay. If you expose it, give me number 3. If you expose it, okay. Donald J. Trump said the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but rather by those who watch them without doing anything to stop them. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. It'll be time for the Georgia Hour at 10 o'clock. Take a break.
Massive truck discounts are back at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500s. Up to $9,000 off Silverado 2500s. Don't wait for Memorial Day. Get them before they're gone. $12,500 off Silverado 1500s. $9,000 off Silverado 2500s at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in LJ. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting edge digital technology and state of the art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second to none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report. Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Welcome. I'm your host, BKP. It's time for the Georgia Hour. Diane, I told you once before we discussed this. It might have to turn into the Georgia 2 hour, 3 hour. I mean, here's my impression of how the Georgia Hour. This is my impression of me trying to catch everything that's flying so fast. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching the Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you, Diane. Now, let me just say this. I've gotten 4 messages. Thank you first and foremost, always a thank you. Second, a party planner does not make a cybersecurity expert. Now, all hell's going to break loose about that. Money buys access. So we'll leave that there. You know how you ever see the old running for office trick? It's called the running for office trick. It's being like, just to say it, like Chris Carr is finding all the gangs now. Chris Carr is going to the border now. Chris Carr is supporting Donald Trump's effort to get these violent criminals out now, right? Must be running for office, right? So, you know how all of a sudden, right before election, you have all the drug bust and the pictures, must be running for office. So everything I see right now, I don't think twice, must be running for office. Now, last night, first of all, we have a new introduction. You got number 17. We have now what we call the Karens of the Georgia GOP. So let's start there. We have the Karens of the Georgia GOP. They're very sensitive people. We want to let you know they're very sensitive. Okay. They feel it's their job to identify anti-Semitic, homophobic, bigot, racist, and it sends them into total shock. In fact, it sends them into such shock that they remind me of liberals looking for a safe space on a college campus. All right. And they're yelling at the top of their lungs, oh my God. So we have the Georgia GOP Karens, and that's led by Sally Grubbs, Marcy McCarthy. We now have Nancy Babbitt and Debbie Dooley. And if you blink, the attack dog shows up. Just saying. Now, so take that down. Now, we have investigated. We've had information come to us from many different sources. We have to be careful with the sources. I'm serious. We have to be careful. I am something really upset me last night. I didn't sleep because people are watching the show and they're running with things that are not accurate. And I'll just say it like that and leave it there. And something was done yesterday that I really lost sleep over, because my goal in this program is to bring information, not to harm people. Because I have to tell you, I'll look you right in the eye, it's very upsetting the amount of hate and anger and the level of decency. So number 54, last night in Cherokee County, and we're going to put this together. There was a candidate meet and greet, and there's all the candidates. Now, Lori McClain is the treasurer of the Georgia GOP, Inc., and David Cross is running on a platform of truth, transparency. I forget the third one. I'm just drawing a blank. That would be me, BKP. But he wants to audit. Look at the money, And he wants to put it in a position, the Georgia GOP Inc., where you feel comfortable donating, knowing how your money's spent going into 2026, because we need money and the people that give money need to trust us. And I will say this, I mean, how many of you out there, and we won't name names of organizations, that you will not give to the organization because you found out when they say we feed the poor or we do this or we do that, that out of $1, 15 cents is going to the cause, and everybody else has their hands in the pocket or in the bowl, and the money's not getting used appropriately. It happens every day. So there's a feeling of that in the Georgia GOP Inc. David wants to bring back, that's his campaign, he wants to bring back that truth and transparency so donors could get more involved. And questions went to Lori McClain last night. But at 9 o'clock, I got this message, okay? I got this message at 9 a.m., and it's already making it around. And here's what it says, okay? So we're reading this together. I've read it over the break, but we're basically reading this together. What is going on with the Georgia Republican Party? I have questions for Josh McCoon that is very important to Georgia voters. From June 2010, 2023 through early 2025, a total of 140 refund transactions were identified amounting to $28,149 that was refunded. These refunds do not match contributions or refund amounts is larger than the initial contribution. At least 52 unique individuals received more than one refund in a period, with some receiving as many as 4 separate refunds. For example, individuals such as Marcia Blank, I'll leave that name off right now. It is out here. It's public. Michael Blank, Tanya Blank, and another Michael, each were reported as having 4 refunds issued to them. I have confirmed that Tanya Blank never donated to the Georgia Republican Party, while it is possible that some of these donations could be attributed to revenue sharing with other states. The volume of refunds makes it impossible to explain it in its entirety. Let me just say here. Now, I have not done this. Let's just pick up the phone. I happen to know the individual. I have contacts. I mean, I got 5,000 contacts. So I happen to know the individual that posted this. Let's see if he answers the phone. You've been on the show before, right? Alloy, the personal trainer. Remember, we picked up the phone and called, right? Let's do it. Let's pick up the phone. Let's call and put this individual on speaker. Let's just do it.
Hello.
Is this Tim?
It is.
Tim, I need to let you know we are live on the air, the Georgia Hour with BKP on Voice of Rural America. Are you willing to discuss publicly the post you put on Twitter that you put out on X concerning the refunds from the Georgia GOP account? Are you willing to discuss that publicly?
Absolutely.
All right. Another thing, because we have this little rule here. It's called "We don't do people wrong." Am I able to use your last name? It is on X, but am I able to use your last name on the program?
Absolutely. I am what I am.
Okay, folks. I'm on the phone with Tim Sharp. He answered the phone. We laid it out. We don't trick people. This is not gotcha. We don't do anything that's called gotcha media. If the guy would have said, no, I'm not talking to you, I'd have hung up the phone. All right, Tim, let's get started. You made a post. What is going on with the Georgia GOP? I have a question for Josh McCoon. It's very important to Georgia voters. From June 10th, 2023, that's when he was elected, through early 2025, a total of 140 refund transactions were identified amounts to the total of $28,149. What is your investigation here? What are we looking at? Explain this to us.
So the 140 refunds that were identified at $28,149, those are refunds that were done that do not have matching contributions. So if BKP got a $150 refund, my common sense tells me that at some point BKP had a $150 donation. That's what we're not seeing.
Okay. How did you arrive at this information? At least 52 unique individuals received more than one refund in a period, with some receiving many more. How did you arrive at this? Can you tell us a little bit about your research, how you went about this? Do you have a background that helps you do these kind of things? Do you have a team? Kindly explain to us how you come about this information and what was the research process.
So I'll give you a little bit of my background first. I started in investigative journalism with Laura Loomer. Laura is still a very dear friend of mine. Still work with her on occasion, but I was with Laura full-time through the 2024 primary, mainly on the Ron DeSantis investigation. So I have extensive experience dealing with FEC reports. It's just something that we did every single day during the primary. So, I had been seeing that the Alloy Fitness and some of the dry cleaners and stuff with the Georgia GOP. So I thought, okay, let me take a look at expenditures. So I pull up the FEC expenditures, and I specifically went to the year 2023 and 24, and I sorted not the donations, but the expenditures from largest to smallest. Started kind of combing through it, saw some stuff, but nothing crazy. So I thought, okay, I'm wasting my time. Let me sort this smallest to largest. Well, the first thing I noticed was just dozens of small dollar contribution refunds that started at $1, went $2, went $3, went $4, and I'm like, I have never seen this before. This looks weird. So I grabbed a couple of the larger ones that were $25, $30, $40, $50 donations, and it just hit me. It's like, let me see if I can track down the initial contribution. There was no contribution reported in a 6-year window to be found. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I worked with a gentleman who's a tech and IT guy down in South Georgia, and he actually ran the contributions versus the refunds through an AI program. And we went back and spot checked it, and these were the findings that we found, where the contributions were just either missing or the refund was greater than the contribution, because we did see that as well.
All right, so I'm seeing, refund to contributor, and I'm seeing like Arizona, and I'm seeing a refund for $2.75. So I'm just going to ask point blank. I mean, I'm doing this on the fly. I respect your work, but I'm not validated. I'm going to be upfront. I'm going with this raw, and I'm going to trust this. But I am looking at where it says, and I'm not putting the names out right now, Georgia Republican Party, Arizona, refund to contribution, 1/5/2023 for $2.75. I mean, and then the same person right underneath again, $2.75. So what you're saying is the program you ran, it uses like nomenclature. I mean, you can put refund, and it'll randomly search through it like we search on anything else. So your program, you put in a search for refunded contributions, and these are the sheets that came up.
What we did is we downloaded the raw data for all the expenditures and all the contributions, and then just had the program cross-reference it. And it spit out the anomalies. Okay,
I get it. Now, where is this raw data? When you say you downloaded the raw data, for me and people out here, they're like, okay, where's the raw data store? Where is that?
The raw data is on FEC.gov, the Federal Elections Commission website.
All right, so this is directly from FEC filings with the Georgia Republican Party, Inc. That you got all this information, correct? Okay.
Yeah, it's publicly available information,
It.
And when you download the raw data in an Excel format, you're not just getting the specific reports that you pull up if you use a web browser. You actually get the amended reports as well. So it gives you a full list with names, addresses. You get the full breakdown.
Okay, so let me wrap this up because I'm still digging into it, and I'm going to tell you right now. Please, I'll send my email address because you put this in here. If you want to follow him, I'll give that to you at the end, so you can look at this yourself. Everything I do, I make sure it's transparent. You can look at it yourself. But I'm gonna jump down here where it says we have loaded every questionable transaction from 6/10/2023. You put your email in here. You say my email address is timsharp@gmail.com, and you will send every transaction, every spreadsheet, because on your post you only have an example sheet right now. So for anyone questioning, like, well, this one sheet, how do you get to 28,149? You are willing to email anyone that asks you at Tim Sharp@gmail.com. You will send them the entire transaction list.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, this is not a gotcha moment, and I know Laura Loomer gets a little bit of a bad rap. She's kind of called an institutional terrorist. But Laura and I used to joke.
Hey, I was called that. Laura can't have that by herself.
We're not institutional terrorists. There's something to be said for just being an effective flashlight. So I'm not here to catch anybody.
Ooh, okay, got it.
I'm just here to turn a flashlight on.
I got it.
Anybody that wants to see it, absolutely, I'll gladly send them the spreadsheet.
Okay, so I've got two more questions because I've got a great question and answer session last night. You want to listen to it where the treasurer addresses some things, and I know you've been researching that side also, and I want to get that for the audience. But I want to wrap up with two things, and then I'll get back with you later in the day. And maybe we'll schedule for you to come on. So I know I just pick up the phone, but have you come on to where people can ask some more questions of me and we can follow up. Your last statement in your post, I'm not accusing Josh McCoon or the Georgia Republican Party of committing a crime. However, due to the fact that the treasurer of the organization does not have access to bank statements, this is certainly a cause for concern and less than transparent. So you don't have the ability, and I understand that, you don't have the ability to determine a crime has taken place here. And I get it. If I did the research, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, look, a crime has taken place. I mean, that would have to be somebody to investigate it, to determine that. So you're not making that accusation, but what your concern is what I'm reading is the treasurer and some of the statements that's been made and what's been found recently in FEC filings. You have concern on the transparency and what else may be out there?
Looking at this objectively, I only see two explanations for this. Worst case scenario, there's money being laundered and it is a crime. Best case scenario, there's a massive reporting issue with FEC reports. That's the only two logical conclusions I can come to from this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, $28,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's in a less than a 2-year span.
Right. That's a lot of money. And you have to get to know me, Tim. I grew up in that generation where we were taught there's no such thing as a dumb question. How in the world, when I look at this, do I make any logic out of somebody getting a $1 refund?
And like I said, that was initially what caught my attention because I've never seen that before, looking at any FEC report. And I've looked at hundreds, if not thousands. And especially when it tiered up from $1 to $2 to $3.
Right.
It's like, this just looks weird.
I'm looking at the Georgia Republican Party, Inc., and as you said, this all came off FEC filings, and I see the name where the refund went to, and it's in Georgia. Refund of contribution is the column it's in. It happened on 2/6/2023. It was for $2, and I'm like, okay, please tell me there's a simple explanation to this, a rounding error.
Yeah, and the other weird thing, and I don't even think I initially put this in a post, but over 90% of these refunds that I have questions about were to out-of-state donors or out-of-state refunds.
I'm looking at that in the sheet. So let me just say this one more time. Your statement. You can follow him on X, and if you follow him on X, it's Real Tim Sharp. Okay, Real Tim Sharp. Transparency. I really don't know Tim, but we met here recently. Once we started putting some stuff out and he started doing some research, we have communicated. That's one thing we are, is we're straight up. People can trust our information here on this program. We do research and we tell people straight up. So Tim and I have, we've had a couple conversations. This one, like I said, caught me off guard this morning. At Real Tim Sharp is the gentleman's name, and he will email the entire list. Tim@sharp@gmail.com. One more time. Tim@sharp. No, I'm sorry. Tim A. Sharp@gmail.com. You'll get the entire list. Tim, do me a favor. If you, is there something you're doing with this? Did you just put this out? Or are you doing some more research, or is there something else coming our way soon that you're looking at? We just got to ask.
I'm definitely doing some more research. I mean, I don't have the answers to this, and when I don't have answers, it just makes me look harder.
Point. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Now I'm going to switch gears and start talking about the treasurer of the Georgia GOP Inc. Tim, thank you very much. I got to cut you off. And thank you for just answering the phone and going with it.
All right. No problem. Thank you.
All right, folks. Wow. Okay. So you never know. At 4 a.m., I didn't know. And it's out there. You could read it yourself, okay? You can read it yourself. This is fluid. It's moving, right? It's moving. And bam. So I have to just pause for a minute. Diane, are you out there? I have to check. I got to pause for a minute.
I'm looking at the finance thing of the Republican Party.
Diane, you better pay attention to my video that's about to come up. Wow. Okay. So here's a little graphic that's going around the internet. Number 15. This one's going around the internet, and they wonder why we want to look. Josh McCoon delivers $479 per charges for personal trainer, 5 in total, $132 for Brooks Brothers, $58 for the Rocking Jump Trampoline Park. I think that's where the Karens are, right? Aren't there Karens at the trampoline park? $105 and $221 for the dry cleaning, $360 for the Knights of Columbus. And then there was that time he was out at Arizona Turning Point. Let me get the check for $1,771.40. Wow. Okay, so now last night, and we have number 2. Well, I accidentally pulled out the wrong credit card. So, wow. Now, give me video 9. And we're going to go to 50 minutes and 28 seconds. But I don't want it right now. Video 9, 50 minutes and 28 seconds. So, everything we put on there, FEC filing, I have been waiting. I'm not going to assume for anyone. So I'm not going to come on here. Let's be very clear, because some people clip up what I say. I'm not going to come on here and say, well, I think what Lori McLean, the treasurer, was looking at, or here's how she probably approached this. I'm not going to do that. And many of you have been waiting to hear from Lori McClain yourself concerning FEC filings. And she explains last night in great detail. Now, before I start playing this, keep something in mind. The treasurer of the Georgia GOP, Inc., there's some standards, some practices, some legal things where you can't just say certain things. You can't. So for anyone out there, and I want to caution you, for anyone out there that's yelling, well, she didn't say this, that's not fair to the treasurer. I'm just going to put it like that. I won't defend anyone, but that's not fair because there's things that the treasurer cannot say. Just can't do it. Now, that being said, FEC filing, the question that gets asked all the time, hey, how come you didn't know this? And she's going to explain that. So let's start with 5028 on this video. All right. I will hit you a stop when I want to stop, and then we'll go to 53 minutes. 5028, Lori McClain, treasurer of the Georgia GOP, Inc.
Question is for Lori, and I was wondering, I've heard, and is it true that you don't have full access to all the records? And what about the recent personal transactions that were marked as meetings example, and it was actually an alloy gem payment?
So let me say, it's working, right?
Yeah.
Let me answer it this way. First of all, any issues that we may be having, we should be having those conversations at the state executive committee level. Okay.
Now I want to come back. I don't want to lose that, but she's correct. The Georgia GOP Inc. has a state executive committee. All right, the way it's set up. Now, the state executive committee should meet regularly. Now, Mr. Cross says when he is chairman, it will meet monthly. So what should happen, let me just explain this because she's correct. What should happen is there should be an executive committee meeting, and as the treasurer, she should give this report, and the executive committee should ask questions internally to discuss the finances and whether they were used properly, improperly, or whatever. So I just want to back her up 100%. Now, the executive committee, that's what has to happen in the next administration. The executive committee has to be effective, whether you like hearing that or not. And the state committee has to be effective, meaning they have to be involved, they have to be the decision makers, and they have to run the place. And the chairman, right? A chairman, which you and I know this, a chairman facilitates and acts on the executive committee's rulings and plans. Their job is to put it in place. So this is a very bold statement because she's correct. Keep going.
Those conversations at the state executive committee level. Okay. Now, when I got elected 2 years ago, one of the first questions that people started asking me was, do you have access to the accounts? Well, define accounts. I am a signer on all the accounts that we have, and we have several because obviously we have to separate our state money from our federal money. I'm a signer on all those accounts. But the only thing I see is the QuickBooks, which is what Karen enters when she cuts checks or does wire transfers and when she makes deposits. So she puts information in there. Then once a month, like today, I got the FEC report cut for the period ending April 30th. I don't know how many pages it is. I haven't looked at it yet. But the last month's was 90 pages long. And so it is virtually impossible for me to take, in the amount of time I have, take all the transactions on those 90 pages and tie them back to the QuickBooks. On top of that, I don't have any source documents whatsoever. So I have to go by what's in the QuickBooks. That's the only information I have. For the most part, what I am able to do is reconcile the ending balance. So if you look on the FEC report, it will say this is our balance at the end of this period. That does tie back to what's in QuickBooks. So I do know that every transaction has been recorded. Okay. As far as expenses that are being posted that maybe we shouldn't have run through the Georgia GOP. That did happen. And I will tell you again, when you're reviewing 90 pages worth of documents, and I generally don't have more than 24 hours to do it, I look at the big numbers, the big names, I look for the outliers, and I, other than that, have to trust that Karen and the other folks who have access to the credit cards, etc., are doing the right thing.
All right, we're going to back up there. Let's break that down. So you have been asking the questions, 90 pages. The treasurer says herself, Lori McLean says, I generally get 24 hours. Now, 90 pages. 90 pages. I generally get 24 hours. Now, source documents. She doesn't have the source documents. Now, if you're out there, and there's no disrespect, I don't talk down to anybody. No disrespect. If you don't understand QuickBooks, and I can't tell you that I am QuickBooks, right? But you have general entries. So you go through, I don't know exactly how QuickBooks, I used to use Peachtree Accounting. I used Peachtree Accounting for years back in the old days, QuickBooks, all right. But you go in and you put a source code, and they have it, and you have materials, and you can put in, you can break down, you can put subcategories of materials. So when something comes in QuickBooks, there is a line item that says meetings, okay? It says meetings. I'm not for sure if it's group meetings, if there's any sub-accounts. I've never looked at the Georgia GOP, all right, QuickBooks. But source documents, what Lori is saying is she doesn't get the receipts. It's not like she gets the credit card statement and she goes down through the credit card statement. It's not like she gets the gas receipts or she gets the meal receipts from the restaurant. That's not what she gets. My understanding, that would be the source documents. All right. So you have meetings. She gets the FEC filing, 24 hours, has 90 pages, 24 hours to do it. Now, reconcile. I'm breaking this down piece by piece. So what she's saying is she can look at QuickBooks, and these are my words. I want to be careful here. She can look at QuickBooks, and if QuickBooks at the bottom line says $1 million in and out, and the FEC filing says $1 million in and out, she can go through there and reconcile accounts and see that the big numbers match up, and she could sign off and send in the FEC filing, which she doesn't have time to do a line item. Now, trust. She says she has to trust. Now, I have to tell you, folks, in America today, we have had it with not being able to trust and get the truth. Trust, truth, and transparency. We have every day, no matter what it is, the cover-up teams all across the nation. This is not just the Georgia GOP, Inc. Trust, truth, and transparency. So we can't see, we don't know what the truth is, and we can't trust the information we're getting. That's simple, all right? This is coming from the treasurer. Now, I think I want to go to 53 minutes. I think I want to go to 53 minutes. I'm not for sure. Go to 53 minutes. Let me hear that for just a minute.
Matt, have to trust that Karen and the other folks who have access to the credit cards, etc., are doing the right thing.
I have a follow-up question to exactly what you had just asked. Now, you have two issues, one with the state and one with the FEC. Now, when you file a report with the FEC, you have to say who the donors are, right? So you know exactly who's contributing the money. And you also where the expenses are going. And if your expenses are not in line with the FEC, you're going to be in trouble because they don't mess around. So how, and the other thing, I believe I saw you on Roy Hambrick's show, and that you, thank you very much for what you're doing. Thank you for speaking out, and thank you for coming to the table once again. How do we resolve these issues? Because you, if I understood you correctly, you're pretty much denied the access to any of this information because nobody's in that office and nobody is, they don't make it easy for you. They don't want you to dig. What do you say to those comments I just made? Thank you.
I'm not going to speak to their motivation. The only thing I will say is this.
But I didn't ask about the motivation.
It has been done this way for so long.
It's culture.
It's culture.
And we got to rechange that.
It has been done this way for so long, and they're not accustomed to someone like me with my skill set coming in and saying, wow, I'd sure like to see more information so that I knew more about what I'm looking at. Okay? The deposits and the checks are not always listed one by one in the QuickBooks. There'd be no way for me to tie it item by item back and forth.
But how does that get to the FEC? Because they need to see that too.
Yeah. So what happens is there is a piece of software called Aristotle. It is a campaign software. Karen enters the transactions. Every deposit, every check is entered into Aristotle, and there's a drop down, and she picks the donor's name and that sort of thing off of a list of folks that have given to us in the past for the most part. And she puts in the itemized transactions that will go on the FEC report. And then when she's ready, she uploads it to the FEC report. Now, I just want you to understand something. My entire life has been one deadline after another. I'm a CPA, okay? I have had a tax practice for nearly 40 years, and so it's one deadline after another. When you get the report on Friday and it's due on Sunday, which happens very frequently, it's better to file it and then go back, and if there's an error, we can always amend it. There is no fine for amending it. There is a fine for filing it late. And so I'm protecting the party by going ahead and saying, hey, I'm pretty certain this is right, so let's go ahead and file it, and if something pops up later, we can fix it. And that's kind of how we've been operating for the last 2 years. And you sign off?
Go ahead with that. Let's finish that up. Go with the amended. Go. Let me hear what she says. I don't want to.
Emails me a draft. I say this is good for you to file, and then she actually uploads it to the FEC website.
Okay.
All right. So let's break that down. A lot of fact here. A lot of fact. Let's break it down. It's been done this way so long, it's the culture. Now, every time they laugh at us, and they do, they're over on other networks and they're on shows, and they just laugh at us and yuck it up that someone wants to look at the finances, put a budget in place, and reorganize the structure so it operates efficiently that you can trust. They actually laugh at it. What's the big deal? I mean, he went to the dry cleaners, swiped the card. What's the big deal? We caught it and paid it back. Okay? Now, it's been happening for so long. They're not used to, right? They're not used to someone with my skill set. Now, sitting next to her is a gentleman by the name of Della Majoro, right? Is that his name, Della Majoro? It is Josh McCoon's handpicked candidate for treasurer. I will see no evil, ask no questions. I'll be here if you need me, Mr. McCoon. That's what I think. That's my opinion. In fact, that's what people keep calling and saying. He's handpicked Della Majoro because running for treasurer, because Josh has stated he does not want any sand in the gears. He only wants people that will work within what we'll call from here on out the culture that they've created. I need info, and it could tie back and forth. I get the data. I get the FEC report many times on Friday. It's got to be filed by Sunday. It could be filed and amended. The fine is for late. So, Lori McLean has a balancing act here to do. When she gets it, she files it if it reconciles. And if there's a need to amend the report, there's no fine. The fine is for a late report. All right? A late report, you get a fine. So the best thing they can do, because Josh and Karen Henschel and whoever's hands are in this report preparing it, does not give the treasurer adequate amount of time for a thorough review or access to the documents needed for a thorough review. That's what you hear. That's the truth. Those are the facts. Now, if I'm the chairman of the Georgia GOP, and I know all of you out there thinking, oh, thank God you're not, like Steve Kramer. Oh my God, what if he was treasurer and he signed a check? Oh my God, Katie Frost, could you bear the thought? Anyhow, moving right along. So if I'm the chairman of the Georgia GOP, it would be the Georgia GOP with members. I would just be so excited to have what Lori McLean calls her skill set. Someone that teaches this on a college level, is a CPA, has the skill set to go in there, make sure the chart of accounts, that's QuickBooks, all right, the chart of accounts on QuickBooks, reconcile properly, that all of them, everything's going where it should be, and an FEC report is correct. Now, but that's not the case. They don't want you looking. So you can file it and amend it. Now, here is the next question you need to write down the next time you see the treasurer. How many times has it been amended? This is my question. If I'm standing there, treasurer. Yo, treasurer. That would be you. How many times has the FEC report been amended? Are you required to see it when it's amended? And do you get to approve the amended report, or can somebody just amend it and send it in and then you don't see it? Because look, folks, let's be real. Let's be real. You can't expect someone, these are volunteer positions. You can't expect someone to get 90 pages, reconcile it in 24, 48 hours as a volunteer, sign off on it, send the FEC report in, have it kicked back, amend it, review it again. I mean, it just would not be possible. So that would be my question. Now, let's go to, have we gone there yet? 58 minutes and 15 seconds. 58 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's see if we've played that one yet.
I actually have two questions. one for the secretary that's responsible for communication, and then one for the treasurer. But I'd like to also hear Cross respond to both of them as well. Okay. So first of all, with the treasurer, you said that the resource documents, they're not attached. Would you look into a different software besides QuickBooks? There are newer softwares out there where you can attach the resource document to it. For example, if someone fills out something they want reimbursed for, that form can be scanned. So when you go to that item, you can click on it, you see who it was written to, the amount, but you can also click and see the resource document or the invoice or whatever. Would you consider doing that? And is it Karen also that reconciles? And then, so that's the one question for about, would you be willing to switch? Because you're just seeing amounts, you're not seeing details of what things are for. So that's not good. I'm the treasurer, by the way, of the Cherokee County Republican Party, and I don't think I would ever want your seat under those conditions. Then the question I have for the communication, or the secretary, I noticed on the website, and I think this was touched on at the GRA, there is no contact info, so someone wants to donate to contact, or, you know, they talked about there was...
I don't want to change the subject right now. I don't want to change the subject, but people get it. This is the treasurer of the Cherokee County Republican Party. People get it out there. She's saying, look, I don't think I would do the job under those circumstances myself. People get it. Now, the last candidate for GOP chair wanted a forensic audit. Josh McCoon has gone around and he's made a joke out of it. He laughs when we talk about, he's actually said something to the reference of, it's laughable. It's laughable, right? So I want to play this, and because there's some other things Mr. Cross made mention of last night that I would love to get into, but this is the Georgia Hour, and I wanted to stay focused on the treasurer for right now. 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 15 seconds. People get it. 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 15 seconds. Could you roll the tape on that?
I just have a question here. I've listened to this accounting problems. I retired from a Big Four accounting company, and I don't see that we have any best practices at all in this Republican Party. We're a multi-million-dollar business with no accountability. I want to know, if you get elected, are you going to bring in the Doge for the Republican Party, where we go in and actually straighten out this mess? I'm actually on the board of 2 multi-million-dollar nonprofits that use QuickBooks. I know that you can account for everything. There's no excuse for you to get something and have 2 days on a weekend to get it done. You should at least have a week. You got to change the whole process here. Somebody's got to come in and reinvent this whole accounting process, because there's no accountability.
I bet that there's a couple more guys just like you that could help us out. And yes, the answer to your question is we're going to doge the Georgia GOP. That starts on day one. And if we do, I'm gonna this will be our little parting thing that we're gonna leave today with. I found this video. I've been looking for it forever. It's 18 seconds long. You're only going to hear the audio, all right? But you'll get it, all right? Here we go.
Win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
Thank you all for coming tonight.
Those citizens out there get it. They get it. They're all over the state of Georgia. They're tired of it. You have to understand, the people are tired of it. The people are going to force you to take the grip you have on these organizations, the swamp that you live in, pull the plug and drain it. They're going to. They get it. Now, Diane, can you give me a group of zombies from yesterday? I don't have my zombies. Can you get the zombies from yesterday? I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't send over the zombies. I only sent over the Georgia GOP Karens, and we'll show you the Karens again. That's why we do this. These are the zombies, okay? Sally Grubbs, Marcy McCarthy, Travis Bowden, Candace Taylor, right? We have Katie Frost. I mean, we have zombies. They're zombies, the Macoun of the dead. I mean, we do this having a little fun. And they're at the Debbie Dooley, they're at the Misspelled Eagles Club. What do you know about that, huh? Interesting. I mean, I'm serious. The people are tired of it. They know it. They're not going to take it anymore. It's not a joke. I mean, when David Cross stands up and says, you know, I'm going to, I have time. I have 4 minutes. I didn't want to change the subject. Give me 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 48 seconds. 1 hour. Diane, don't yell at me. I mean, don't yell at me. Look at the zombies. Feel sorry for them. They're Macoun's on here. They just follow him. Josh, do you want us to cover up what you're doing or saying or stand up for you no matter what, Josh? Because we will do it. Give me 1 minute. 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 48 seconds. I'm going to get in trouble. I hope I don't get hit with the Macoun of the dead stick.
Or, you know, which the first top 3 priorities to do the day you get in office?
Wow. That's like 100 things come into my mind. So the question is, you know, what's the plan? The very first thing that's going to happen is the corporation thing is going to be put to bed. We're done with that. I'm tired of hearing about it. We need to get done with it. On the same day, I'm going to ask our treasurer to begin, you know, an in-depth, you know, financial audit so that we can understand what's going on. And within 45 days, I want to report. And within 60 days, I want to have our first financial statement posted online so everybody can see it. I'm going to begin meeting with large donors and explain to them exactly what's going on with providing truth, trust, and transparency so that they can begin to see what's happening. I'm going to have to go in and tell them what we're going to do. We need to show them and demonstrate it, and then I'm going to come back and show them that we did it and we accomplished it and show them how they can get plugged in. There's I mean, in the last 3 years, the Georgia GOP organically raised $3 million, not 23, $3 million. The other $20 million came from Trump. All right, we don't get that again. All right, and going forward into next year, to be able to accomplish all the things that we need to do, I'm going to need to break every fundraising record that we've ever had. Another thing we're immediately going to put into place and start to roll out is the Constitutional Sheriff's Initiative.
So I have something.
Okay, go ahead, Diane.
So David just said that the Georgia GOP raised $3 million, right? Well, I'm looking through the FEC report. I combined 2021, 22, 23, and 24. And of course, I started at the bottom like Tim did, and I'm just browsing. I'm just going through the list. But I found this. It's NSF fees. So they've gotten a couple of NSF fees on the bank account, which I thought was interesting. We should have all this
Wait a
money.
minute. Are you telling me they wrote a bad check?
I'm telling you, they wrote a bad check, or they charged a bad thing. So there's two of them, and I'm just scrolling. I'm not.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. These are the most upstanding. Diane, you have to be wrong. I mean, you know the character and the integrity but Diane, this has to be a misprint. I want you to get on this immediately and correct this. I'm sorry.
And
go ahead, Diane. Let me get out of the way.
The favorite place is Chick-fil-A. We've got a lot of charges at Chick-fil-A. So this is a Dollar Tree for $5. What I thought was curious about that, you go into Dollar Tree and you pay the dollar for the item, and then you have taxes on top of that. So this doesn't look like there's any taxes in there. I don't know. It just looked a little
What
odd
the
to me.
hell? What the hell? She's supposed to be a producer. She's supposed to direct, produce. What the hell? When the hell did you become an investigator?
I don't know.
When did you do this? Everybody wants to know. Inquiring minds want to know when you started investigating.
When I'm listening and not typing what I'm.
No, wait a minute. So wait a minute. What you're putting up here.
Now, okay. So what could be is that they had the nonprofit number that they gave to Dollar Tree for this $5 amount, so they didn't have to pay the taxes. Okay, I'll give them that.
That's possible.
But I would think that you would go through all that trouble on a higher dollar amount rather than just a $5 quick run in, grab something for whatever case it may be. So I don't know, that just kind of stuck out at me.
I haven't done it in years. I have not done this in years. Used a tax exempt number. So I don't know the details as we discuss this with the Georgia Republican Party, Inc. But here's what I see. I agree with you. It's $5. Okay, $5. Interesting. At Dollar Tree. Says supplies.
So I've got one more that's gonna kind of.
Wait a minute, I'm not done with Dollar Tree. I mean, a brother could want. Oh my God, I said a brother. You know the Karens, what they're going to do with that? A brother could want a Tic Tac and a Coke. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I mean, are we the bad people? Well, that's pretty chintzy. That's what we'll call it. That's pretty chintzy. $5 at Dollar Tree. Okay, Diane, give me another one.
All right, so we're reversing mileage at Goodwill of Georgia for $3.28. That's kind of what?
That's it. This is her last day. I can't put up with this stress. I mean, she's going to have me on a double cigar this afternoon. Georgia Republican Party, Inc., Goodwill of North Georgia. This is a reimbursed mileage? $3.28.
When did Goodwill of Georgia drive?
Now, let me get this correct, because I'm not an accountant, but I have stated a Holiday Inn Express. I do know enough from the old days of what a chart of accounts are. I'm serious. And I mean, I was really understood Peachtree accounting back then, but you'd have account number 001 and your chart of accounts, and you would name it reimbursement mileage. So anytime you were 10 keying for those out there, those young whippersnappers, 10 keying, and you had mileage reimbursement, all you had to do was go 001. All right. So there is a chart of accounts, and there is one that says reimbursement mileage. It's $3.28. Goodwill of North Georgia. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to make of that. Is that it for the day? Because you're stressing me out.
So you wanted that return check fee? There you go.
Yeah, but that was in 2021, Diane. That's not fair. You're going way back. That's not fair, Diane. I mean, you can't be unfair. You're going way back. Oh, would that be the culture? Oh, wait a minute. All right. So as Diane's throwing up, huh?
I just found they reimburse mileage to Chick-fil-A.
Could you put that one up? Go ahead, throw that one up. I like that one. Give me that one. They're going to attack us all day. Oh, my God. So where's that? What's that say? Legacy parking. I wonder where that parking is. This is 2021. You're in the Wayback Machine. Sweet Chick-fil-A. All right. You're in the Wayback Machine, but I don't care. It's 2022. Sweet Magnolias. Okay. I like that. What are you doing? What are you doing here? I'm going to cut you off. You get one.
Hold on.
All right. So do you have it? Because you're going to get one more minute is all you're getting on this program.
No, I lost it. I'll have to find it again.
Okay. So as Diane's going in the Wayback Machine and just looking up everything under the sun, I don't care what year it is. I like how, because what you're talking about are years where a certain candidate wanted a forensic audit, right? There should never be a report, I don't care what year it is, where there's fuel reimbursement or Dollar Tree for $5. All right. Number 17. As we leave, I was scheduled at 11, right on the dot, 11 o'clock. We have now the Karens of the Georgia GOP, the Georgia GOP Karens, Nancy Babbitt, Debbie Dooley, Marcy McCarthy, and Sally Grubbs. They're very, very sensitive. And if you blink, you never know what could happen. I mean, you close your eyes 1 minute, and the next minute, the attack dog's out there, right? And what else do we have? Take that down. Number 3, never forget, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but rather by those who watch them without doing anything to stop them. And Brad Barnes was there last night. Yes, I recognize the spokesman for Georgia Blueberries. Brad Barnes was there. Go ahead and give me video 15.
0.2. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I will see you tomorrow, 8 a.m.